The miracles of Ketu in astrology. How to use Ketu to its fullest potential and achieve a lot of things in your life. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the good side of Ketu, because till now we have been preached and told that Ketu is the karaka of detachment, Ketu is the karaka of isolation, Ketu doesn't like materialistic things, Ketu gives moksha, alright, and Ketu is also the significator of the 8th house because it rules Scorpio. So Ketu has so many descriptions that it denotes mystic things, occult things, sudden happenings. It causes cuts. All right. So there are so many adjectives and there are so many non-materialistic associations with Ketu. But what about the good side of Ketu? It cannot be that a planet is only negative, negative, negative because it's a malefic planet. It has some purpose for which it is created, right? And because of that, today I'm going to give you my take on the miracle of Ketu in life and how to use Ketu to its highest potential, alright? So, if you want to know about the secret about the hidden potential of Ketu in your horoscope and how to use Ketu to the highest potential, then first you have to subscribe to Purab's universe, guys, because only if you subscribe to Purab's universe you will get access to such different content. And after watching this video in its entirety, if you've liked this video, please hit the like button. If you have disliked this video, please hit the dislike button, but show me your genuine reaction, alright? So hey guys, what's up? I hope you guys are doing great and I welcome you back to Purab's universe. I'm wearing this because there's a lot of light opposite to my eyes, and because of it, it strains my eyes a lot because I've got polar cataract, right? So that's why this is mandatory, guys, for safety, personal safety. So, we all are born with Ketu, right? That's an absolute truth of life. And when we are born with Ketu, we cannot live a life without its influence, alright? So, if you have born, then you have to die. Similarly, if you have something, you have to lose that particular thing. So, we come alone and we go alone, alright? And because Ketu does it a bit quicker, right? It detaches or it separates from the significance where it is placed in the house. That's why we associate and we say that Ketu is separator, Ketu cuts and this, that, everything, right? But do you know that Ketu is also the mastery that we are carrying from our past life, which means whatever domain or whatever things we were too much into, let's say that can be driving or that can be spirituality, that can be astrology, that can be space exploration, it can be any particular thing, right? So wherever you are driven by the power of Rahu in your past life, that is where you have Ketu in this life, alright? So wherever you've got Ketu present in this particular life, it shows that you have experienced or dwelled in those matters a lot, and in this lifetime there is some quota which is left, which is yet to be fulfilled, alright? And once that quota of Ketu is over, once your soul says enough, I have experienced wealth to the extreme, I have experienced physical comforts to the extreme, I have experienced luxuries to an extreme, right? So when the quota is over, Ketu detaches us because Rahu carries forward the baton. So Ketu says, okay, I have done all things that needs to be done, and now I'll focus into my passion, which is this life's Rahu, right? So in a way we can say that where we have got Ketu in this life, that is somewhere where we had Rahu in the past life, alright? So Ketu shows completion, and do you know when you are complete with something, you are complete with something only when you are a master at it. You have been through the extreme corners of that particular domain or arena and you have mastered the tricks and traits of the domain, alright? So, does it strike what I'm trying to say, that Ketu is something which will come naturally to you? So wherever Ketu is placed in your horoscope, doesn't matter if it is placed in the 4th house or the 6th house, 7th house or 9th house or whichever house in the horoscope, alright? wherever Ketu is placed, those significances and those attributes will come naturally to you. That means if you have got Ketu in the third house, then communication, interaction, writing, the skills of the hand, singing, performing arts, dance, media, communication, these things are something where you have dwelled a lot in the past life, so that will come naturally to you. You will flow freely. Whereas where you've got Rahu, you have to work hard and you have to achieve that skill. You have to keep learning. Alright? So that's how it is, right? And similarly, let's say I've got Ketu in the fourth house, that means property, alright, comforts, home, a mother, vehicles, all the assets and things, land, buildings and everything, real estate. You are a master in it because you have got Ketu in the fourth house, right? So, people, what they generally say is that wherever Ketu is there, it is the Karaka of separation. So, you will get separated from that particular thing. Don't focus on Ketu, focus on other planets like Saturn's placement, Jupiter's placement, Rahu's placement. But the truth is, till the age of 42, until Rahu has not matured, Ketu has the capacity to give you substantial amount of activity, substantial amount of mastery and substantial amount of action in that particular area or that particular house where it is placed in your horoscope. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is that point number 1, Ketu is your past life skill and mastery. So knowledge never leaves the soul. Everything can leave the soul, but knowledge and wisdom and karma never leaves the soul. So if you were a good singer in your past life, then in this life, when you're young, you'd definitely be a good singer. Have you seen these little children who are 3 years old or 5 years old or 7 years old? They're coming to reality shows and they're singing songs like legends, whereas they have not done any rehearsal for it. It comes naturally to them because they have been doing it a lot in their past life, so the skill comes, alright. Similarly, Ketu's placement is where we spend substantial time in the initial life. Open your horoscope and check in whichever Rashi and in whichever house Ketu is placed in your horoscope. Definitely you are doing a lot of activity and you are doing a lot of interaction with that particular house. Let's say for example Ketu is placed in the 6th house. So either healing or service or job or any particular servitude sort of a job which is called employment in these days, that is there a lot. And you are also very compassionate towards pets, towards dog, towards animals. You may be an animal welfare activist because you've got Ketu in the 6th house, right? So it shows that you are spending predominant or you're spending a major portion of your time in the realm of Ketu. So now the problem happens is that wherever Ketu is placed, you are good at it, but you don't want to bring out that particular quality outside to the world, or you don't want to exhibit the values or the attributes that Ketu has. It's like, no, my cup of tea is over in that domain. I don't want to do it. I don't want to, exhibit any qualities of that particular house. I'll focus on 12th house. I want to go abroad. I want to explore different location. I want to go to different countries. I want to settle somewhere else. Because Rahu will be opposite to Ketu in the 12th house, right? So instead of this, if you think in this way, that Ketu is like, it's like you're a pro in that particular domain and you're a pro in that particular area of your life. So why not experience? Why not sort of extract the significance of Ketu and make some gains in your life? So for example, if you've got Ketu plus Venus in the 4th house, property, real estate is something where easily things will happen. You can easily buy properties and you can easily sell properties. You can easily gain from real estate till the age of 42. Why I am saying 42? Because you might ask that Ketu matures at 48. So why not 48? Why 42? Because 42 is the age where Rahu matures and it takes the captaincy of the horoscope, and Rahu pushes you towards its desire. And after 42 it becomes very difficult to dwell in the realm of Ketu, in whichever house it is, alright. So till 42 you have got time. If you have got Ketu in the 4th bhava, you can be a very good real estate person. If you have got Ketu in the 7th house, then you can be a very good businessman. You can be somebody who is a marriage broker. You can be someone who is into trading, who is into selling, retailing, right? The seventh house is also somewhere associated with agreements and partnerships. So you could be somebody who is a creator of a lot of agreements and deeds, something like a lawyer, right? So Ketu in the seventh house, definitely. Also, you might spend or give a lot of substantial amount of attention to your wife or spouse, life partner, right? Similarly, if you've got Ketu in the ninth house, then God, religion, spirituality, philanthropy, charity, all the realm of the ninth house, you're a master at it. You're good. You can explain the high philosophies of life without even reading a book because it comes from you naturally. Alright. So you can be somebody who can be a spiritual motivator, who can be an astrologer, who can be a guru, who can be a guide, who can be a teacher of Vedas, of the religious scriptures. Because Ketu in the ninth house will give you the knowledge of the ninth bhava and you can express it through the third bhava, through Rahu, right? The next thing is that Ketu can amplify the power of the planets in the initial life, right? Nobody will tell you this, but they say that Rahu is amplifier, and whenever a planet is conjunct with Rahu, it increases the strength of that particular planet. So planet becomes very strong when they are conjunct with Rahu. But even with Ketu it happens, but with Ketu it happens more during the initial life till the age of 42. Let's say you've got a Jupiter conjunct Ketu or a Venus conjunct Ketu or a Saturn conjunct Ketu. So these planets become very powerful because Ketu is like Rahu in the initial life, and then it becomes like old and sour, tasteless. So Ketu does amplify the power of the planets. So if you have got any particular planet conjunct with Ketu, it is not weak. What it means is that you are overutilizing the attributes of that particular planet in your life initially, and that's why when you hit that 42 years of age, that's it. The energy has depleted, and now you have to focus upon the house in which Rahu is placed or the planets that are conjunct with Rahu. Alright. Ketu can be used to highlight your potential until 42, which I've already mentioned you. And Rahu is incomplete without Ketu. So what does it mean when I say that Rahu is incomplete without Ketu? So you have to understand that Rahu and Ketu were the same person. He was a demon named Swarbhanu who was the son of Simhika, and when God Vishnu used the Sudarshan Chakra to cut the head of Swarbhanu after he had stolen the Amrit, then it got separated into two parts. The head became Rahu and the tail became Ketu, right? So you see, even if I cut my head and even if I detach my body, but still people will say that the head belongs to Purab, right? Or the body belongs to Purab, right? So it's still the same person, right? So Ketu and Rahu are always connected with each other. What it simply means is that Ketu gives you skill, Ketu gives you mastery, and Ketu gives you deep knowledge and understanding about that particular area or that particular domain in which it is placed. So if it is placed, let's say, in the ninth house, that means it will give you deep knowledge about spirituality, deep knowledge about the higher truths of life, and also about traveling, right? Now, Rahu uses the potential of Ketu to express itself out, right? So a person with a Ketu in the ninth and Rahu in the third is the perfect example of these spiritual motivators and these people who are preaching Vedas and Upanishads and everything in YouTube, where initially they have spent a lot of time with their guru, or initially they have spent a lot of time in spirituality and in traveling and realizing the higher truths of life, and later they come to YouTube or a public platform and they start preaching and they start give initiation and they start talking, because third house is the house of media where you have to go outward and do the expression, right? So this is what I wanted to say. Ketu is not only about separation, Ketu is not only about detachment, not only about sorrow, not only about spoiling things. Ketu is your mastery. Ketu is something where you can shine, you already have it in you, and you can use that skill effortlessly without much practice, right? So I hope you understood this. So wherever Ketu is placed in your horoscope, find out the significance of that particular house. If the first house, then it's all about the body, the head, the personality, the health of the person. If it's in the 10th house, it's all about the career, the status, the fame, the name, the bosses, and the public visibility of the person. If it's in the 8th house, it's all about in-laws and insurance and transformation and secrecy, right? So all these things, and it's all about Kundalini Shakti and things like that. So wherever Ketu is placed, you are a master at it. and whatever mastery you've got in that particular domain where you've got Ketu in your horoscope, use it and express it via your Rahu. So this is what I want to say in this horoscope. This is the miracle of Ketu in life and how to use Ketu to its highest potential. So I hope this video enlightened you. This is Purab signing off from Purab's universe. Take care of yourself, take care of your Ketu and understand your Ketu wisely. Adios, Jai Hind. Jai Bharat. Take care.